Hi everyone, I'm Dr. D. I wanted to create a video that highlighted the most relevant and important aspect of the problem claim component of the discussion leading assignment. So first I wanted to give you a basic overview of the kind of basics of the assignment. Then I wanted to talk to you about what specifically it is that you're submitting. And finally, I want to talk about the grading criteria. So let's start with some kind of overview components of this assignment. It is the only component of the discussion leading assignment that requires actual group collaboration. And so after this, you're never going to have to actually work with these people again unless you want to. If you enjoy collaborating with them, then you can choose to collaborate on future assignments. That's fine. But if you prefer working individually, especially in an online class, that makes sense, and that's perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that, except for this one assignment. Now, this one assignment is indeed worth the fewest points. So I would say if you have group members who are uncollaborative or unparticipatory, don't worry about it too much. This is worth so few points that at the end of the day, it's not going to have any sort of very meaningful consequence on their grade if they're not participating in this assignment. Chances are, if they're not participating in this assignment, they're not going to participate in the next one, and the next one is going to have a meaningful impact on their grade. So don't worry too much about it. Everyone in the group does get the same grade. And it is due this week. So make sure that you're submitting soon. Only one person in the group needs to submit because everybody gets the same grade. We only need one submission. So what is it that you're actually submitting? Well, you're submitting one sentence. That's it. We'll talk a little bit more about the components of that sentence. We talk about the grading criteria, what I'm looking for in that sentence, but essentially it's a really good sentence. And you're submitting it to a discussion board. Now, I'm doing this instead of submitting it like a regular assignment because each module gets two groups. There's group A and group B for each module. And what that means is that topics are on a first come, first serve basis. So if you look at the actual discussion leading assignment description, there's a lot more details in there, but there's kind of subtopics for every module. And so you can choose any one of those subtopics to craft your claim around, but if a different group has already chosen that topic is now no longer fair game. So you want to make sure that if you have a topic in mind that you want to write your claim about, that you claim that quickly and that you submit sooner rather than later. Okay, so you're submitting that one sentence, you're submitting it in the problem claims discussion board. Make sure that another group that's in your same module hasn't chosen your claim, and do me a favor and include your group name in your submission. That just makes it easier for me to assign the points to the right people. Okay, so now that you know what it is that you're submitting, let's talk about how I'm going to grade that submission. So the first component of grading this submission is that it must be relevant. It must be relevant to our course, of course, so make sure that your claim relates to gender and relates to communication. If it's missing one of those, then it's irrelevant. Okay? And second, make sure that it is relevant to your module. So make sure that you look at the topics that are included in our module, look at the possible subtopics that are included in our module, and you can pick one of those subtopics or you can come up with your own, but make sure that it is relevant. Most importantly, I would say make it relevant to you. Make it something that you find interesting. If you don't think that this claim is interesting, you're going to find the rest of this assignment really boring because this is just the first step in a multi-step component to a big assignment. So choose a claim that's interesting to you so that you can then have fun researching it, so that you can then have fun discussing it, so that you can then have fun writing test questions about it. Okay, the second grading criteria that I'm looking at, or criterion, is the level of specificity. So this claim should not be so broad that it encompasses everything, right? It should be a subtopic of the module. It shouldn't encompass the entire module, right? So make sure that it is specific enough to be about something kind of that we can that we can have kind of a conversation about that's going to kind of stay in one place. But also don't make it so specific that there's very little to discuss. So your claim should be kind of in the middle size, not so broad that it encompasses everything in the module, not so specific that it's kind of meaningless, right? Or irrelevant. So medium size. If you want, I provide some examples of too broad and kind of just right in the discussion leading assignment description. I have rarely, if ever, had students submit a claim that was too specific, but it could happen. So make sure you're finding that middle range. Finally, the third criterion that I'm looking at when I'm grading your problem claim is that it is actually a claim. Okay, what's a claim? A claim is a statement. So first and foremost, it is a sentence. It's not a fragment. It is a complete sentence. It has a subject, a verb, and probably an object. So make sure that you are writing a complete sentence. Second, it is not a question. It is a sentence with a period at the end. It is a declarative sentence, not a question. So don't write a question. This is an error that comes up pretty regularly that students make, is they ask a question thinking, oh, this is a good kind of question for discussion. And we're going to write a discussion question later on based on your claim, but first stake a claim. Okay, so write that complete sentence. Finally, a claim is not a statement of fact. It is an opinion. It is possible to agree with it or to disagree with it. So you want to make sure that you're making a claim that some people in the class might say, I'm not sure about this, right? Or some people in the class will say, I absolutely agree with this. It doesn't have to be right in the middle. So you don't have to choose a topic that you think half of people will agree with and half of people will disagree with. If you want to pick a topic, a claim that you think most of the people in the class are likely to agree with, that's fine. But make sure that it's an opinion and not just a fact, right? For the purposes of this class, something like the sky is blue, we're going to consider that a fact, okay? So if it's the kind of thing that the vast majority of people would agree to, chances are it's bordering on fact. So make sure that this is an opinion so that it is a claim. So when I'm grading this, I'm looking for a claim that's relevant and that's specific enough. That's how I'm going to be grading you. Hopefully this has been helpful and you have a better idea of what this problem claim assignment is. Remember that all of your future assignments are based on this claim. So pick something that you like, that you're interested in, because part of our class is going to be dedicated to your claim. Choose what you want to talk about. Good luck, and I'll see you online.